Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Down and Out podcast. I am your host, Brendan. I'm joined today by Stefan.
What's up?
And Hunter.
I'm here too.
Of course you are. And today we're going to be talking about Disney's new streaming service and a question, just a random question that I came up with while I was sitting here wondering for questions of what we can say on this goddamn podcast before Infinity War comes, Endgame.
Endgame.
Whatever, same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The MCU finally finishes. That's what we're waiting for.
No,
We're
Thoughts
just waiting
on
for it
not
to be
finish.
over. It's over after this. At
It's
least
me,
for
it
me
is.
and Stefan. For me and Stefan,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
over
no,
after this.
I'm gonna be done too.
Um,
I'm watching
So
all
yeah.
of them.
Disney's new streaming service, I guess, will be the first topic. Now, Hunter, I believe you're the least researched of this topic.
Yeah, I mean, I've only just heard
So-
bits and bobs about it.
In your mind, what do you think they will do before
Just
we get into
what I-
facts and stuff?
Ooh.
What do I think they will do?
Yeah.
They're gonna exploit and try and get as much money from as many people as they possibly can.
So what kind of shows and movies and stuff do you think will be on there? If
I
any-
think
if any
they'll have
series.
all of them, except they're all gonna be at tiered lists. So basically,
that'd be
base member,
sneaky.
Oh,
and
that
you
would
only have
be-
access to only the new Disney stuff, so like Tangled and all the live action remakes, the garbage. And
Hold on,
then-
did you just consider a movie from 2012 new?
Yeah, dude, because in Disney's eyes, that whatever, they're like a century old or over a century old or whatever. They
Not quite,
to them
not
like
yet.
5 years ago is nothing.
This. Yeah, I guess when you're talking that long, 2010, my bad. When you're talking that long, I guess you're right that like, Bambi came out in the fucking 40s, right? Am I right on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
Snow
think
White
so.
came out in the 30s.
That
Jesus.
might not be, that,
No,
did
that's
it?
not right.
Yeah.
So you think that there'll be like a tier system where it's like you got to spend $6.99 and you get the Star Wars.
I was right. 1937, Snow White, Seven Dwarfs.
So they
Wow.
they add the prices. Is that what you're predicting? All that jazz.
That like
I
you
mean,
can pay
they're
$10 to get
probably
all
not
the
gonna do
movies
that.
from the 80s back, and then
Yeah,
you gotta pay $15 to get all the movies from 2000 back.
I'd imagine that they're not going to do that.
I think that would
but-
piss people off. I
I
would
think
love
it'll
that,
happen
though.
eventually. It'll be like what like Microsoft has done, where yeah, I mean that's a different story, but where Microsoft has kind of done what they initially planned to have done with the Xbox One, what they're doing with their next new consoles. But-
So now that we've got all of your crazy conspiracy theories out of the way, me and Stefan did some research on this topic. Probably Stefan knows a little bit more about it than I do.
Because Stefan
Um,
hates happiness.
Stefan hates Disney. Let's be. I mean, don't we all? Like as
I mean,
as,
I don't
as
hate
loving capitalistic
don't like it.
Americans, we hate monopolies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you
that's
cannot
what I mean.
call.
I like what they make, but I don't like what they're doing.
Yeah. So this streaming service, it's gonna be everything. Is what there's gonna be old shit, new shit, original shit, all the shit you could ever want. But it will be more focused to the kid stuff. I say
Yeah.
more focused because Marvel and Star Wars is gonna be on there. And if I'm honest, Star Wars isn't exactly kid friendly. Killing people
So
is
what-
killing people, but
What do you
it's
think
part of the
they're-
kid stuff.
What do you think their edgy thing is? Going to be Star Wars, and that'll be their tentpole big show or content that they have on there.
What's this, The Mandalorian? Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, The Mandalorian will be launching with it, right? In late
so.
2019, whatever that
Mhm.
means, expect
Yeah.
it before Christmas, I guess. Merry Christmas. Here's The Mandalorian. Give us your, by the way,
Here's your money.
in the EU, in the overseas, the big Britain and Europe and them, they're going to be getting it for like €4.99, which is about $7 here a month. So it'll be cheaper than anything else offered.
What? That's a pretty good price.
Right,
I'll
and it
applaud
will
them
be-
for that.
it will be all of the animated favorites from like the 90s, everything. Pixar's gonna be on there. All of Marvel's gonna be on there. So sorry, Hunter, that you bought that entire fucking stupid ass set.
I don't care. Wait, when the Bongo Wars happen, I'm still gonna have the physical shit. So
All the Star Wars will be on there. All the Star Wars TV shows. All the Marvel.
wait, really?
Well, not
All the Star
of
Wars?
Marvel. All of Star Wars. There's been questions if the Christmas special will be on there.
Dude,
We're
that's
not
all
really
I want.
sure.
Have you all seen that?
No.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a legend,
heard
a
of
myth.
what's
Stefan, have you seen it?
No, I want to see it though.
It's all about the.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Ewoks.
Yeah, it's
Ewoks
all
and
about the
Chewbacca's
Ewoks.
family and shit. It's weird.
Well, yeah, it's just like a family that lands on Endor. I don't even know. They just get into
weird.
mischief.
It's weird.
I
It's
want to
weird.
see it.
I don't.
Maybe it'll be my favorite Star Wars. I think it might
What
be.
right now is your favorite Star Wars then?
Has he actually watched all of them?
Of course he has.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know.
What's your
Rogue
least...
One?
Yeah, I was about to say, what's your least
That's your favorite?
disliked?
Rogue One, I
Okay.
would say.
No, I'd actually say that's almost my favorite as well.
Well, for me, it goes in order. Like, I like Rogue One, but that's because I think the Star Wars movies are okay. I like the world of Star Wars. And
Yeah.
Rogue One is about the world of Star Wars, not about the movies of Star Wars. Which is why I like it. I know a lot of people don't like Rogue One. They look at Star Wars and they're like, fucking no lightsabers? What the
Is this?
fuck? Yeah, they're like, this isn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
which is like a lot of older people I see have that, agree with that. Like, my dad didn't like Rogue One because there was no lightsabers in it. Also, he didn't like it because the main character was a girl, but what can you do? Can't teach an old dog new tricks. I know some teachers in my high school didn't like it. Some of my uncles and aunts didn't like it because there's no lightsabers in it. Which is really funny that you can talk to Star Wars with about anybody and they'll have all seen it and they'll all have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird
Yeah.
to think about.
What do y'all think about Solo?
I
Eh.
hate you for bringing that
more
godforsaken.
I watched it.
I don't
of
mind that
shit.
one.
Seen it. I don't mind
Fuck
it.
that
To
movie.
me, the more I watched it, the
Fuck
more I was
that
like,
movie.
you know what? It reminds me of
Fuck
classic
that
Star
movie.
Wars, and after
Fuck you, Hunter.
it does. It's
Fuck
it's
you.
it's less of the stupid shit.
It's
of
stupid as
Last Jedi.
assholes.
It is, but that's how the old ones were. They were really just dumb for the sake of being
No,
dumb.
They weren't
I was
dumb.
like, you know what? Mm,
No, you cannot
New
argue that the no. Don't even try
there's a
that
lot
shit.
of goofy, fun stuff that they have in there.
Goofy fun is not the same as a person ruining Lando by insinuating that he fucks robots. Don't forget about that. They ruined two things in that show. Well, they ruined a lot of things. First of all, Han Solo's name, all right, ruined. Darth
That
Maul
was-
being a
yeah.
cool character, ruined. Let's see, what else did they ruin? Oh wait. The Millennium Falcon ruined the entire ship by making it some weird, crazed, human sex craved robot that's
Yeah.
always been there. Ruined. Just there's nothing they didn't touch on in that movie that wasn't like bad. Right? You know, Corellian was entirely different than every other source depicted it. Right? Also, I want to point out that I think it shows in there that they're building like Star Destroyers in atmosphere. How the fuck?
In that one?
Yeah, in Solo they build them in atmosphere. I mean, I could
don't
be
even
wrong,
remember.
but I definitely remember that. There's just so many. I
I
hate
don't
Solo.
remember that
I hate
movie.
Solo. I hate their depiction of Solo. The only thing good about it was Woody Harrelson, but that's because Woody Harrelson's a good
He's
he's
just great.
just
in
10 out of
everything.
10. I hate Solo. I also hate Darth Maul. Did I tell you that?
So
I fucking hate
my
Darth
top-
Maul.
My top 3, I would say, favorite Rogue One. Then I would probably go Solo, just for shits and
I
giggles.
fucking hate you, Stefan.
And then the third one, I would say Phantom Menace, because I just like to laugh at it.
I fucking hate you.
But Phantom Menace does have one of the coolest.
No, yeah. To be fair,
The pod
people give-
racing?
People give Phantom Menace a lot of shit, but as soon as you get into that final act and you cut out the Anakin flying into a fucking Trade Federation ship, It's so fucking cool. You're just watching Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn do this sick-ass duel with a fucking real Sith. It
You get
feels awesome. It's exactly
you
what...
have Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Liam
wish the
Neeson's,
first
there's always
half
a
of the
bigger
movie... I
fish.
just wish the first 2/3 of that movie weren't ass. But that final fight is entirely worth it. If you're just like, oh, lol, Anakin's a dumb kid. Mer. And you're like going along, you're like, oh, this is goof. Oh, look at that little frog tadpole dumbass. Oh, this is great. You know, I love Jar Jar. He's fantastic. And it's like, you get the Duel of Fates. Dun 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 dun. Copyrighted.
I know I've told you guys about this before, but there's a video out there of like George Lucas, and it was like
I may have gone too far.
he was in the
Yeah.
post production. He's like, I think I might have gone too far. His voice,
That was hilarious.
he looks so sad.
Oh, dude, there's an interview, and it's since now. If you don't believe in the power of Disney, there was an interview out there where somebody asked, George Lucas. I got him confused with R.R. Martin. First names, God, such a bitch. But there was an interview, and he's like, someone asked him, "How do you feel about The Force Awakens?" And his response was that
Meh.
Disney, he called them white slaves that took his kids.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, he said that in an interview. It has since been rescinded, and he has apologized profusely to Disney, probably because there was a gun under the table.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Well,
a reason nobody heard about that interview. I only heard about it because I directly Googled it.
I wonder about the video of what's his face that plays Luke? I can't
Mark
remember.
Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Do they still have that video up where he's like, Luke would never do that, and he was
Dude,
just like,
1,000
of
videos,
course.
dude. They have compilations of him, and they have
Of him?
tweets of him saying that. And then, I mean, it's ridiculous that people are like, oh, he actually likes the movie. It's like, he doesn't like that movie. There's no way, like, imagine he is Luke Skywalker. Let's be honest. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker.
and soon to be Chucky. Yeah,
Wait, he's
Wait,
gonna
what?
be Chucky?
he's gonna voice Chucky.
Hell yes!
I know. I think
God,
it's
now we gotta
perfect.
go see that in theaters. What the fuck?
I love it.
Dude, that's gonna be a scary movie.
Dude, that was my favorite part about Last
And
Jedi
another-
was just hearing that tinge of like I was like, oh man, I just wanted to say, "You'll never get me, Batman."
Another Chucky fact is the person that's doing the score is having it be primarily of like toy sounds. So it's like you'll hear
Fuck
like
off.
you'll hear like the clinks and the sounds of like toys as the soundtrack.
Dude, that'll be
Yes.
that'll be cool. I don't usually
I'm
watch
hyped.
horror movies in theaters, but I'll go see that
I
just
fucking
because
love
Mark
Chucky.
Hamill and because of that soundtrack sounds awesome. I mean, I also really like Chucky just because I mean, it's never been a horror movie. It's always been goofy for me, but
Man.
I
Yeah.
like the idea.
No, they were never horrors.
The concept was great. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, I don't know. But getting back to the streaming service, all of Pixar, all of Marvel, all of Star Wars, except I think the Netflix shows and the ABC Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. won't be on there. Which is all right by my standards. To be honest, there's
Yeah.
only like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of bad.
Meh.
It's
I've heard that there's a couple of good seasons on there.
yeah, and I hate saying it this way, but if I have to get through one bad season to get to a good season, fuck that show. Like, I love
Yeah.
Dexter, but just skip 3 and 4. Just don't even watch them. In fact,
They're not worth it.
yeah, no, they're entirely boring. There's just no reason to watch them. Like, it's not Dexter.
Yeah.
But I'd say everything else is great. But will I say the show is perfect? No. There are people out there who will say, like, oh, this show is perfect. You just got to skip that. And it's like, well, it's not perfect then. Disney
Yeah.
is, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it no matter what. I love Mulan. I love Pocahontas. I love Cinderella. I'm going to watch those shows. It's going to be great. I'm gonna have a dandy old time, me and all the 12-year-olds.
Wait, what? Wait. Oh, I thought they were. Never mind. For a second, I was like, wait, they're doing a Pocahontas, whatever.
No, yeah, they're also doing a
They
live
probably
action
will.
There's
They
a
are?
there's
Okay.
a live action Pocahontas and Mulan that is in
They're in the works?
production. Something. I know Mulan is coming out before Pocahontas.
I don't think they announced Pocahontas yet, but
Oh, you know they'll
they're
do it.
gonna do it soon. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they're doing
I
Lion
don't know.
King, fucking they're doing Pocahontas.
Yeah, I mean,
I just
they'll be doing. What are some of the bargain bin ones that they'll probably end up doing?
bargain bin. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Fucking Fox and the Hound live action.
Brother Bear.
That's
Hell
no, that's,
yeah!
Is that? It's not Disney or
That's Disney.
I thought that was.
No, it's Disney.
Is it?
What's another bargain bin? Lilo and Stitch, live action.
What? Lilo and Stitch isn't bargain bin? How dare you, dude? Ohana means family, and Ohana means no one gets left behind.
Hell out of here.
Dude, I love Lilo and Stitch. Only the first one, though. Get the fuck at it. I even watched the TV show and the sequel. God, and I wish I
trying to
hadn't.
think. Treasure Planet? Is that bargain bin?
That's not Disney, I don't think.
That's Disney.
Is it? God, dude, I'm so.
And Atlantis too.
Oh, Atlantis. Now that's a one I'd love to see in live action.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
I
Maybe they'll get
actually,
Michael J.
I don't
Fox
know.
back.
I don't because like that was such an animated show. Like I just mean like the characters, like the way everyone moved was you could only do it in animation, right?
I don't know.
Well, like the
that
mole
didn't
guy, you'll
seem-
have to have Danny DeVito playing a little mole dude.
Yes.
You know, you'll have to have the guy who blows shit up, who is like the best character. You'll have to have the black lady who's an engineer. Like they all just moved like they're. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about animation is you can characterize characters with how they move,
Yeah.
right? And that, like you know, and like a lot of Disney shows do that. I guess like Fox and the Hound would be another good one. Like the fox
Mhm.
moves like a fox and the hound moves like a hound because they're the fox and the hound. You know, that's how those animals work. It's Lion King, same thing. The lion's always proud and mighty and rawr, and the hyenas are like hee 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 and like rolling around on the ground or whatever. You can just
Yeah.
characterize things just by looking at them. You can judge them.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
Um,
I could see them doing Atlantis potentially, but
maybe.
I don't know. That's in a future
Yeah,
where
that'll
they've
be like
really
that'll be 20,
ran out of
2030.
ran out. Yeah.
maybe 2025, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know.
I've always it's always been meh with the live action shit. Like Beauty and the Beast was meh, only because Ewan McGregor played the fucking candle. That was fantastic. But
Yeah.
it was just meh. You know, as
Mm.
I think a lot of fairy tales work better animated. It's hard, unless you're doing like the actual fairy tales, like the Grimm shit, like the actual Grimm fairy tales. Then you almost need it to be live action because it's so fucking dark.
I had an idea for if I became a billionaire,
Of course,
I would make.
All right, hold on. Before this, Stefan has this like
God damn it.
every
We're
week.
doing this.
We'll talk to him normally, and he'll be like, "If I was a billionaire, I would actually create the Hunger Games." That's a real one. And he said, "If I was a billionaire, I would also create the Japanese Hunger Games." What was that? Battle Royale.
That's right.
I want to see that. Are you telling me you
Yeah,
wanna
that was
see
a big-
Wait,
battle
no,
I
royale?
would pay
didn't
for
you
that.
hear somebody's actually? That's another thing, but somebody's actually trying to do that. I'm not even
I'm so
joking.
proud of them.
Somebody took your idea. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna outdo it. I'm gonna make it better. Are they killing each other?
No, that's illegal.
I don't think it's actually a thing. I think it's just something some rich dude was like, yeah, you know what, I might want to do it. It's literally some rich asshole wants to do it, but
I don't know if you do it in like that country where they still in any country where they still have slaves. I'm sure you could do it. Have a
Yeah.
gladiator. You know, have like an actual. It'll be. I mean, if you think of battle royales are just gladiator pits, right? And I'm sure eventually, you know, once like we get to the 2049 where everything's ass, people will be like, yeah.
What if
And
we
in
had
the
it
left corner, we have Ninja, and he's like half cyborg. And
What if
in
we
the
had,
right
like-
corner, we have Doctor Disrespect.
we have 80
Oh,
death
God.
row inmates, and the one that survives, you give them. You don't get the death penalty, and you can live the rest of your life in jail.
Life in prison. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting.
You're
But
telling
you
me you
know,
wouldn't watch that?
You do
People would
know
watch that.
That it's so PC nowadays that people will be like, what the fuck? What if they were innocent?
They would have to be the cream of the crop, like
the cream.
school shooters. Just total like
School
dickweeds,
shooters.
and you just like put them in an arena.
Just the best ones.
Exactly.
The best of the best. That's terrible. That's terrible.
But-
Lord, I apologize.
Jokes aside,
Yeah.
if I was a billionaire, I would make a studio called Reverse Disney, and I would just like I would have
DreamWorks?
bootleg. No, it would be bootleg versions of their own movies, because like they're all royalty free if you think about it, but they've kind of like taken them, like the fairy tale
Taken
movies.
them is not a word. Taken
Yeah,
them.
dude.
They've taken them, but
They be taking
I
our
would-
kids.
I would have each one be like this super fucked up Grimm's fairy tale version of their other one,
Yeah.
and try to start like a giant like war between the two studios.
like DreamWorks.
Maybe.
No, I do like that idea because I feel it's good to talk about the actual Grimm stories along with the fairy tale bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Because
It would be
they
gritty.
all ended like super gritty, like the classic Red Riding Hood. And it depends on which version you're hearing, but like it's either the girl actually gets eaten and the huntsman just cuts open the wolf just for shits and giggles, or
Yeah.
he cuts open the wolf and the two are still inside of the wolf and they're alive, Grandma and Red Riding Hood. But there's just like you can do so much shit with that too.
And I had a pitch where I was like, what if we did Monsters Inc., but the monsters are actually like these
Oh, yeah.
killer creatures, and they come out at night and they kill your kid, and then they take him and they leave their bloody remains in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me you wouldn't want to watch that?
Hold on, no. As people who grew up with Monsters Inc. would love that, I think, because a lot of people who grew up like us and I guess older than us who grew up with that movie would be like, oh shit, right? And you have like a trailer that's just ripping off, like the what's that one? What's the one that's making fun of the Man of Steel trailer?
Oh, Brightburn?
Brightburn, yeah.
Not
How
making
they
fun.
Yeah.
basically they stole everything in that thing from Man of Steel and Superman, the Zack Snyder Superman, the first one.
Yeah.
They just stole it all, and it's gonna be hilarious. Not hilarious, but I think it'll be. I'm excited.
Yeah. So we do a gritty take like that, and we just we fuck with the people that grew up with Monsters Inc.
Yeah, you have like
I
the
think
one-eyed
you would-
little guy, Mike.
Mike Wazowski.
I'll be watching. Always watching.
See, that's terrifying. You hear that in your
Yeah,
closet at
especially if
night?
you heard that at night.
Oh
I'll
my
be
God.
watching. Instant shit flying through the covers. just piss, shit, throw up probably, just everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Disney's new streaming. Also, Disney owns all of 21st Century Fox. Yeah, First
Yeah.
Century Fox. Whatever.
I
They
think
own
so.
all their movies, and
Yeah.
and Disney is also the majority shareholder in Hulu, and they've come out and said that all of the 21st Century stuff will probably be on Hulu, not their new Disney streaming service. So,
Which means Hulu is going to be better.
I mean, Hulu. I think Hulu's really good, especially if you're like me, who doesn't own cable really. I mean, that's Disney's streaming. If you like Disney, you'll like it. If you like Marvel, you'll like it. If you like Star Wars, you'll like it. And it's gonna be cheap. It's gonna be cheaper than Netflix. So
Are you going to get 100?
Get what? The Disney thing?
Yeah.
Why was it? Why are you asking me that? How much is it? It's cheap.
$6
How cheap?
or $7. Probably $7.
But that's like for the basic bitch one, like I said.
It all comes under. It's all or nothing, actually.
It might be like that eventually, where
It-
they have
it
different
might be a
tiers.
Netflix killer.
If they, I
No.
doubt it though.
No, I doubt it too. I'm just
Netflix has been around too
No,
long.
I'm probably not gonna get it. I already own all those. All the stuff that I want to watch, I already own.
Good point.
Maybe for the Mandalorian, I'll watch it for once that comes out. I'll get
You
it
can-
for a month.
You can come
and
over
then
to my house
unsubscribe.
and we can watch
That's
it.
what I-
and then we
that's
can
what I
go
was thinking
watch
too.
Mulan.
That's what.
Let's
I'm
just
gonna
do that. Well, that's what everyone does too. They share accounts. They jump around.
I mean, I'm not buying my own Netflix. Fuck that. I'm sharing
Yeah.
off my mom's.
Yeah,
It's
no,
fucking
why
dumb.
would you not?
Amazon Prime? Why would I have my own? Fucking.
Come on, man.
All right, so let's go to these questions. So the first, I mean, they're both related, but we'll tackle the first one. Can a sequel ruin the original source material? Right, and I'm talking when I say source material, I mean like games, books, movies, fucking music. Oh, I guess that does work with music too.
Like
just anything.
okay.
Just like anything, right? Because one that pops up into my mind is the Star Wars stuff, right? Because it's arguable that The Last Jedi ruined Luke Skywalker. So the sequels did unintentionally or intentionally, who knows, with fucking, what's his name? Johnson Ryan. What's
Ryan
his name?
Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson?
Johnson Ryan? He ruined Luke Skywalker's character, really.
So
the sequel
I'm not.
maybe not
complete
ruined the
agreement.
original source, but it did change it.
Okay.
Another one
I
for
agree
me
with that.
personally.
I agree. Yeah. No, I know. I agree with that. He did change it.
Another one that pops out to me is Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, which technically I suppose
Well,
are the same movie.
Yeah.
But I
But
love Volume
they're
1.
not. They're not.
Yeah, they're not.
the
They're
same. They're not. They're
different.
not one movie. Get out of here, Tarantino. You're not special.
You're not special. Yeah, but yeah, I dislike Volume 2 a lot, but I love Volume 1.
I wouldn't say I dislike. I do think I enjoy watching Kill Bill 1 more, but I think that the ending of Kill Bill 2, I think it actually does a nice little bow. It's just too long. It didn't need to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
it didn't need to
that's
be
the
that
problem.
long. Yeah.
It didn't need to be that long.
And then
I'm in the minority. I like the second one better.
You like the second one
Of
better?
course you do. You're a fucking
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino fan.
Well, because it is more Tarantino-esque, as in
I love that one.
there's less. Because the fight scene for Volume 1, it's literally like 30 minutes. It's literally 30 minutes.
No, it's half the movie.
Yeah.
Half the movie is dedicated to the final scene, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But to be fair, it's such a perfect scene.
yeah.
Like you
Oh,
can't
it's
argue.
great.
Like that's like I watch Kill Bill Volume 1. I watch that entire scene and I go, yeah. And I sit there the entire time going, yeah. And then it gets to the final duel with the fucking katanas. Oh, and Lucy Liu.
Pretty
I'm like,
sweet.
oh, yeah. The entire time I go, yeah. And for the entire movie I go, wow, yeah. Except there is kind of a continuity error in the first one.
What's the error?
So she has the list, and she crosses off someone's name, but she also has the pussy wagon that she stole from the dead rapist.
Okay.
But she also already has Lucy Liu's character, Riri Ren or something, named crossed off, and then she went for the black girl, which would be backwards in correlation.
In the order?
Yeah, because she makes the list
okay.
when she's flying back. It's just, it's kind of fucked. And I doubt she'd have the pussy wagon when she flew back. Because she died in Texas, flies to Japan, flies back to California. I mean, I'm guessing, unless she flew back to Texas, drove to California. I guess it's not an issue, but it's just, it sirens in my head. It didn't make sense.
Okay.
But other than that, I love it. Especially the animated part with,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna call her Riri Ren because I can't remember. But like that animated section was good. I think that's one of the things I don't like about Volume 2. Riri Ishii Ren in
Oren.
Oren? Yeah,
Oren.
Oren. You're right. But like none of the other of the what are the Killer Venom Squad? What is their names?
Something badass. Alpha Protocols.
No,
Yeah.
it's literally like
It's Fox
Venom.
Force 5, dude.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
there
like
you
the
go.
Venom 5.
No, that's the one from
Fox Force 5.
Fox Force 5 is what it's called in Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, the pilot that
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uma
That,
Thurman was on.
uh,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
funny. Shit, dude.
I can't
I like
remember.
how you can remember some like dumb thing that someone said in a different movie.
Yeah. Another thing is the
I'm
guy
pretty sure
that
it's Deadly
Marcellus
Venom,
Wallace
so.
throws out the movie, throws out the window. You never get to see. You just hear about.
Yeah.
Is what's his name? It's Tony Roccavera or whatever, or it's Antonio. They say Antonio a couple times, but
Huh.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, his movies have a mythology all of their own, as he said before. So of course they're
Yeah.
all connected or some dumb shit, you know, like the Big Kahuna Burger or whatever.
Mhm.
it's a Hawaiian burger.
The apple cigarettes.
Red apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manzana Roja.
But yeah, I think one of my biggest problems with Volume 2 is that they don't have a backstory for anyone else. Right? Like, you know, I understand, like, the black girl doesn't need a backstory. Well, I mean, I still would have liked it, but, like, there's such a build-up. There's more of a build-up to Orishi Ren's...
Oren.
Oren. To her, like, battle and her death, and it feels like a climax, like something's happening.
Yeah.
The ending fight or whatever when she kills Bill in Volume 2 is like super.
Well, it's not really a
Not-
fight.
It's.
But
I
that's
mean,
what I
it's not
liked
a
about
fight.
it.
What if they changed the movie so it's just one, and we have Lucy Liu's character be the one that like kills, like her daughter?
Yeah. If
I think that would have worked out too. If you
Lucy
wanted
Liu
just
was-
straightforward.
if Lucy Liu
Action
was
film.
Bill, the whole movie would have made so much more sense.
I can dig that. I mean, I just like all the dialogue.
I
That
know.
they
I
had
know
in
he's
the
a
second
dialogue
one.
guy. I know he's a dialogue guy.
Oh,
And
that
to be
was my
fair,
favorite part about.
To be fair, I
The
do
second
like
one.
when she's training with the old Chinese dude. That guy is
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. Like our friend
Oh
Nathan,
yeah.
he would love that guy.
Yeah.
That's his plan when he gets older is to look like that guy.
That's true.
Right? And like he always like
Jaime.
grabs his beard and mustache and he's like, He's great. Those scenes are great. And like the fight with the one-eyed chick is great. Like that's really good.
Yeah,
But
that
then
was
the
pretty cool.
the guy and like his relationship with Bill isn't really explained, and like you
That's
can
his brother.
kind of get everyone else's relationship with Bill, but it's not like exactly making sense. It's just kind
Yeah.
of weird. It's,
But it didn't ruin it necessarily.
I don't think it ruined it for me.
it ruined
No.
it for me. Like I can't look back at Volume 1 and say that was a really good movie because I know it's followed up by this movie where the death of Bill isn't like it's not even as dramatic as anyone else's death.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I kind of liked about
But
it.
I guess
don't
that's
know. That was my favorite
I
part.
guess that's just
about-
my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
The Opinions podcast.
You're allowed to have that.
The Opinions podcast.
You're allowed to have an
Do you
opinion,
guys-
even if it's wrong.
Do you guys have any examples of a sequel that could, or I guess it's a question, so could or could not ruin the original source?
That, I mean, it is tough because there are. I tend not to allow that to really happen.
No, I don't either. I tend to not get that upset, even like because I always still look back on the one that I enjoyed. It's like,
Well,
I mean, shit
Yeah,
happens.
I mean, here's the thing: are we talking about sequels as in like it? Does prequels count?
Yeah, let's open up to prequels too, because prequels
Because
definitely can ruin a movie faster and harder than a sequel.
yeah, then
Prequels.
even though I enjoy,
Or
I mean, the
prequels in
prequels
Star
actually,
Wars.
prequels in Star Wars actually, I think they.
Well, we're biased. We grew up with those movies, first of all, and that's why I'm biased towards the prequels. So
Yeah.
I do like them more than the sequels, but only because I grew up with them. I have fond memories of watching them with my family.
Yeah.
And I watched the original series by myself, so I don't have fond memories of them as I do with the prequels.
Yeah,
Maybe-
I
But
mean,
I still like the prequels more.
I mean, I
I'm
like
sorry.
them. I mean, I wouldn't say I like them, but I mean, like, I think that they are. I think that they're just not as, whatchamacallit. I just don't think that they ruined the originals for me.
All right, yeah, I mean that's fair.
Like,
I
they
thought-
didn't ruin them.
I
But-
thought the Matrix movies, for example,
Oh,
Yes.
2 and 3.
yeah.
Yup.
That's a perfect example for
That
me.
is a good example.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
'Cause,
Holy
like-
shit.
Yeah.
That went right over my head until you said that.
I think that out of all the, because typically I don't get irked by like sequels ruining the original, but like those two movies completely
That's a
derailed it for
good-
me.
that
And they ruined the
has-
mythology.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Holy shit.
They fucked with it.
That is.
I think
That is.
that's the thing. That's the key.
That's
if
a
you have a
checkmate
se-
if I have ever heard one. Checkmate
if you have a
atheists.
sequel- If you have a sequel that ruins with the mythology of the original one that was set up, that's when it starts to ruin it. But like, I don't know. If
You
there's
know-
kind of a disconnect for me, I could kind of get over it. You know?
You know, the more
Yeah.
you talk about that mythology, and I think that's actually a good portion of it. Because if I think about sequels, I think of ruined stuff. I think of Gears of War Judge. I'm specifically talking about games here now.
Oh, game.
But Gears of War Judge, or not Judgment, 4, where you're fighting robots. The new one, the newest one, is shit compared
Oh.
to the other ones. Just
Yeah.
because there's a disconnect and it ruins the mythology. Another one is Halo. Anything past 3, you know, Halo 3 is good, but anything past there ruins the mythology, ruins the character of, you know, Master Chief, or
Mhm.
the not character of Master Chief would be a better way to put it. But you know, they ruin the mythology, and I think that's a good point. Is that things that ruin the mythology ruin it?
Yeah.
Maybe we're using that word wrong. Maybe a better word would be lore or something. But I think it's a good way to put it. Is it ruins the mythology? Matrix 2 and 3 ruin the mythology of Matrix 1. That's yeah.
Because I mean, I remember I watched Matrix 1, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! I gotta watch the other two." You know, and they're all on DVD.
yeah, of
and
course.
and literally, that was like 10 years ago, and I watched the other two or something. And I'm like, I don't care to ever see those movies again.
2
Even
and
the first
3
one.
are very disappointing compared to. I don't know. That's funny because in my head I totally disconnect the first one from the 2 and 3.
Oh,
But I
really?
do understand that 2 and 3 ruined the first movie. I just don't acknowledge that 2 and 3 exist for my own sanity. Like, even when I say, oh man, I should go back and rewatch The Matrix, I never say The Matrix trilogy, I never say The Matrix series, I just say The Matrix. Because to be fair, Matrix 1 does end on a very, it's over.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever expected to get a sequel.
There's some cool parts of two. I'll give,
I mean, yeah, there's still.
I mean, yeah, there's
parts,
cool
but they're all-
parts, but
but they
again,
ruin it.
Again, with
They
that,
do.
just because it has cool parts doesn't mean they fucked it up, right?
Yeah.
You know, I do like the ending battle with the kid and the fucking mechs, and they're like "Bah, bah, 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 bah," at the end of 3, but it's still the entire notion of it is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Any other franchises that?
Well, one is although I liked it, but it did ruin parts of the originals. Solo.
You
I
bring
mean-
it back to Soul?
No, it because like, the main thing that ruins it is how he gets his name. Because then I'm like, every single time I hear his name in the at all now, it's like, oh, he has no one, or he has no family, or whatever. He has no people.
he
you know?
has no
It's
people.
like-
Yeah, that's what it was. He has.
I'm
no
like,
people.
I'm like, oh, really? Oh. Okay.
It
So
was
that-
something
that-
that didn't need to be explained.
Exactly. It was something that didn't need to be explained, and by explaining it, it actually kind of ruins. And same thing with like the Kessel Run.
Yeah,
Like-
there was nothing. There's no way of you could have made the fucking best movie ever, but just by explaining it, you ruined it.
Yeah. No, for real. That's what they did. And
It's also
fucking
with
sucked.
and this is kind of sequel, kind of not, but with and this will probably lead into next week, but MCU stuff, like there's like because arguably
I don't think I've ever actually watched a sequel to any. I think they've all Oh, never mind.
what are you talking about? They're all sequels of each other. I mean,
That's what I mean.
Like,
but
what
I
I'm pointing
feel
out
like
is,
they
like-
usually do better. But Captain Marvel,
Captain Marvel does not like explain too much,
but it doesn't
and
really count.
I don't know. It's go back, watch Iron Man 1 from 2008.
Dude, I have been. I've been watching all of them.
And then go watch Captain Marvel, and you'll be like, "What happened?"
Well, it's
What
not
happened?
even Iron
What is
Man
this
1. You don't want to
world?
watch Iron Man 1. What you want to watch is Iron Man 2. Because Iron Man 1, they were like, we're just gonna make an Iron Man movie and see what happens. And then Iron Man 2, they were like, you know what, we did well. If this one does well, then we're gonna start this thing off. Like, although Iron Man 1 technically kicked it off, Iron Man 2 was really when they were like, yeah, we know that we're gonna build. We're gonna start putting
Iron Man
things
1,
in here now.
The end.
Well, Nick Fury shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hulk.
and he's like, there's people.
You just said Hulk to say it.
Well, no, because at the end of
Hulk.
Robert Downey Jr. shows up. But again, those were all afterthoughts. Those were all things that they're like, hey, not that the thing is, it doesn't diminish anything. Those aren't things where they're like, hey, whatever. It's all like, oh, if they do this, it'll work. But if they don't, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't subtract from the experience. Take, for example, take Captain Marvel, and then say if that movie came out by itself, and then there's no other Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's because there's all these different things that are there, and they're like, this is gonna show up later, this is gonna happen later, this is gonna happen later, and none of it happened.
Oh wow,
that's
crazy.
An interesting way of looking at it. So
I never thought about it that way.
Can the source material ruin a prequel?
Can the source material? I think that's true as well.
Could argue that with, definitely Infinity War. Like, I don't know who in their right mind would ever try to watch that movie by itself. That'll be like,
my dad did,
and he was probably really confused.
He only saw the Guardians films, and then parts of the Avengers, and I think parts of the other films. While he's like doing yard work, he would just come in, sit on the couch, and be like, "Who's this guy? Oh, that's Captain America. Oh," and then he would watch maybe 10 minutes of it.
To be fair, if you watch the Guardians movie, you'll understand Infinity War.
Oh yeah,
somewhat. They'll just be characters you don't understand.
Yeah, like who's this?
Because Guardians
Iron
does
Man
set
guy?
up the Infinity Stones very well.
Oh yeah,
I'd argue that
started.
That's what started it. Because there was a Tesseract, but you were like, oh, it's just a blue cube and it's fucking stupid, yeah. And then there was like the red the Thor 2 plot MacGuffin, and you're like, okay, I guess.
Dude, I just watched that last night.
And I'm sorry.
I'm going through them all.
The only I'm watching all of them. I've been watching all of them. But that the thing about Thor 2 is that it's boring until like that last fight is pretty cool. They could have done some more stuff with it, like the idea that they're just like going through these dimensional pockets and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was gimmicky. I like
it's gimmicky. Yeah, it's gimmicky, and it's like okay, at least it's something different. But it's just
all right.
lame.
Well, to be fair, we should save the MCU talk for next week when we talk about the MCU.
Or the week
that it be the whole thing.
Because it's like 3 weeks from now, right?
Well, no,
3 weeks from now.
Is it?
No, we're talking about it next week.
Really?
Shit, I don't know when the fucking.
Yeah, because we're gonna talk about it before and then a week after.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll talk about. Yeah. No, not you, Stefan. Me and Stefan are seeing it. You're going to see it with your girlfriend or something. Who knows?
No, whatever.
Any other sequels?
Yeah.
What about
time for that?
The Anaconda films? Anaconda Hunt for the Blood Orchid? That kind of ruined it for me.
Of course you bring up. Same thing with no, John. Aliens?
Yes.
No.
Yep.
Do you
Alien
think though
3 and
Aliens
4?
1
Alien
is
3 and 4.
Aliens 1 and 2 are so good though.
Yeah, but
that I think
2 ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh man, I gotta go watch Aliens 3. Shit. And you watch it and you're like, why did I do that? Oh. You want to cry.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I don't blame anybody who worked on the movie. I blame the company. Because there was a lot of company interference with that movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Dave Fincher directed that one.
Yeah, and he fucking hates that movie and hates, like, working on it. Because there were so many times where Fox came and was like, we don't like that. Change that.
Yeah.
What if you put this in there? Why? Yeah. We just want to see what happens. Why?
What about Predator? Did that ruin the mythology?
Uh-huh.
The new one?
The
Predators?
Yes. Yes. Oh, God. Why did you have to bring that up? I'm sad now.
I'm bringing up all the classics.
I'm happy I haven't seen that.
Don't. It's
Terminator?
terrible.
No, Terminator.
No.
Oh, Genesis.
That's untouchable.
To be
I never
fair,
watched
that's a remake.
Genesis.
To be fair, and that goes
Terminator
into our next.
2?
Terminator 2? No. Well, Terminator 3 didn't ruin it, but it's a bad movie.
It is a bad movie.
But I
Wait,
wouldn't say
Terminator
bad.
I
2?
never saw Genesis. Terminator 2 is a
is good.
goddamn masterpiece.
Okay,
Terminator 1 is good. Terminator 2 is better, and Terminator 3 is worse than the first two.
Yeah.
But then
I
the
got a
remake,
soft spot for 3.
What is?
well, I mean Salvation
what was
too.
the other one?
Salvation ruins
Oh
it,
yeah.
and then Genesis, which goes into our
Yeah.
next
I never
question.
saw Genesis.
Can a remake ruin the original source? But Genesis, I'd say, just it. Maybe ruin's not the good word for it, but like
Tainted.
tainted.
Hurt the
That's a
overall
good word.
experience.
Tainted.
Yeah.
Because Genesis is a goddamn mess.
It is.
Oh man.
Dude,
That
I mean,
was-
Even though I've never seen it, I watched the trailer and I think I watched the whole film.
It was.
You did.
It's a mess.
Because like they give away the entire. John Connor is an android, and also I love the fact that they use the like CGI. You know, they use like the exact same CGI as in Terminator 2, and it's like it hasn't aged at all. And you're like, no, it's good technology, it still works, and it's like
It's like the Bethesda system.
Yeah, it's like, you guys don't even know what you're doing anymore.
If you don't know this and you watch this particularly for movies, maybe you've heard of these games: Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. 4 isn't on the creation engine, is it?
4 is.
Of course it is. It's all been out. So all of those games run on the same engine. And Morrowind came out in fucking 2003 or 5?
Yeah.
No, 3. The DLC came out. No,
Dude,
I have no fucking idea. Anyways, it's older than fucking Jesus himself. Like, for a game engine, I can't believe they're still fucking creeping that thing along. God
Dude,
damn.
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
It's kind of impressive, but also just like, what
It's
the hell?
impressive, but you know those games would have been so much better if they just updated the engine when they made Skyrim.
Use a new
God.
engine.
Yeah, just
Entirely.
use a new engine. And I heard, and by the way, they were gonna use a new engine for the new Elder Scrolls, but Fallout 76 failed, so they're gonna use the creation engine for Elder Scrolls 6. Thanks, Fallout New Vegas, or not New Vegas, Fallout 76. You ruined everything. God. So
Any
yeah,
others?
Okay. Here's I guess. It does it. Wait. So are we saying a what is it? Remake can ruin a film, but does that mean that the remake has to be bad? Can the remake be so good that it makes the original film look like garbage?
Well, I don't know. What's your?
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Well, what movie? I'm confused.
I want to know. I want to know if Stefan knows.
The Thing.
It is The Thing,
Is it?
but not the new Thing. The Thing that came out in 1982, which was a remake of the
Of course,
1981
you're
film.
talking about this. Oh my god. I can't believe this.
I did it. It ruined the 1951 film because
You're
the
going to bring it up
1951
every
film was-
week.
All right.
It-
If,
I
you-
am
if you don't know
gonna
this,
figure it out a way.
Hunter wrote a 5-page.
It was
essay
initially
on
10,
The
but it
Thing.
had to be the lowest we could go. The most that the professor would accept was only 5. I was upset. And then when I turned to my paper, she was like, "It's a little all over the place," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I had to shave off 5 other pages. You're only reading half the essay."
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's kind of crazy for the thing, but I've got a better one for can a remake ruin the original source? And I'll as a reference, this is a video game, but the original Metro 2033 compared to the Redux.
Oh, I never played the original.
Yeah, exactly. I did. not very long or not for much time, or in fact, I'm pretty sure it auto upgraded my Metro 2033 to the Redux.
Really?
I
That
think
sucks.
because I can't find it on any store, any online store, at least the original one.
Yeah, I think they did that with also. They've done that with a couple of games,
Yeah, they do that. They do that quite a bit. And
which kind of sucks because you want to preserve. I think you should preserve the at least.
yeah, you should preserve the original. Right? Because like even with remakes like even with directors like Blade Runner 2040, not 2049, the other one. Blade Runner.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
just
there's
the
so many
original
different
Blade Runner.
versions of them, and the more you watch the different versions of them, you go, yeah, I don't not like this, but I definitely like this other one a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to preserve history. You know, preserving history is good. Keep
Yeah.
the original,
Yeah.
Always keep the
But
original
that's
movie.
too
Always
late now.
keep the original stuff.
Yeah. Psycho. I think the what's it called? The news. When did it come out? Not new, but I mean, I
It
think
was
it
like
came out in the
90s.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Vince Vaughn.
I've never seen any of them.
It might not. To me, I don't think it necessarily ruins the original, but it's like, I don't know, when you're watching it, you're like, oh man, they just butchered this, and it just feels wrong because then you're like, go and watch the original Psycho.
See, the
you're like,
weird thing for me is
"Yeah."
I've watched Bates Motel. Not all of it. I've only watched 2
Uh-oh.
seasons worth. But I know that they've ruined it. But I still think the show is kind of good, or not good, but it's kind of it's a weird show because you know who plays the Norman kid?
Who?
It's the kid with the fucking blue ass eyes, and he has he plays the Good Doctor. He's in the Good Doctor. It's that kid.
Yeah.
And he plays him, and it's a really weird show because it's like a teen drama, and he's like having sex and weird shit, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah,
and then
that's
it gets
weird.
like even weirder because then his mom like is not really there, but really there. You know, it's talking to him, and he's like, can't have sex with anybody, kill somebody, and it's like, cause mom told me so, and you're like, this show took a really weird turn.
Well,
But
that
I do think it ruins the original movie. I'm be honest. I've never seen it, and I know it ruins it. Yeah,
The show does.
I know it, but I've never seen the original, but I still know it. Which
yeah,
is,
I mean,
I guess it's a prequel.
that's a sad thing. There's so many remakes. They're just doing the IP,
So many remakes.
and there will continue to be remakes upon
Another one is
remakes.
I
the
think there's
Alien
less
series
that-
actually, because Covenant and Covenant and Prometheus. You know, like they're not. I don't know. I have mixed feelings in those movies, but
Yeah,
Prometheus
Covenant.
shouldn't even be a fucking. I mean, it's not an alien film, but it's an alien film, and it's dumb.
Yeah, Prometheus and Covenant. To me, it's just like they do. I think I would say that they do ruin it for me because then I'm like, because they cared way too much about. Now I have more questions. Like I was fine. I was fine with just going, oh, it's just an alien species that just attaches its. That's just how it survives. But they're like, yeah, but how did they come? How did they become to exist? And it's like, I don't really care. Like, just give me Aliens. Like that's the thing. It's like Aliens was the best one that they ever made, and they have not ever tried to they've not tried to I wouldn't say redo it, but I mean, like, they haven't tried to get that same kind of magic at all. They've always been, which I guess, sure, it's good that you're trying different things, but it's all garbage.
If you like listen to the interviews with Ridley Scott, and I'm sympathetic to his cause because he doesn't want to do another Alien. I know
it's his baby.
And it is it's his creation.
He created
I get
it.
that.
Yeah.
But he's forcing something in there. Like this whole creation mythology thing. Just make a new fucking series.
Yeah.
Don't make it Alien. Maybe put it in the same universe. Fuck it. Just don't relate it to Alien. Have it Weyland Yutani, and it's like 20. Just have Prometheus. Don't connect it to Alien. Have it like us searching for that. That I like that. I like the idea. I just don't like it being connected to Alien. People are like, oh, Alien Covenant. I want to go see an Alien movie. Oh shit, yeah. And you're kind of watching it, and you're like, I guess this is kind of Alien. It's more like that. And there's a couple scenes you're like, they stole that from The Mummy Returns. And you're like, wait a second, that's just from the first. I do like the shower scene though. That was a good scene with the alien. Anytime an alien's in a ship, I like it. But other than that, whatever.
Yeah, I only liked the end of Covenant. That's when I was like, oh yeah, this is cool.
I also like when he's all like
classic.
I like the good old switcheroo, but spoilers for Alien Covenant. When he's when it turns out Michael Fassbender's the other Michael Fassbender.
Oh yeah, he killed other Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
Doesn't he make out with him? Yeah.
yeah, they kiss.
I remember that.
That's one of the weirdest parts of the movie too.
Michael
He's like
Fassbender kissing Michael Fassbender will never get old.
And then he's playing the flute, and he's like, "I'll do the fingering."
Yeah,
Remember
that's
that?
right. Yeah.
It's a weird movie.
It was weird. There was just so many things that they were trying to hit at in that game. Like, oh, can humanity play God? And oh, people are gonna you know, shit, it's stupid.
Yeah, it again with one of those. They tried too many things and didn't hit them all on the head, and so the hammer missed and hit something else on the head, and it was
Yeah.
probably my dog.
No,
And
yeah,
I
that's
didn't like
exactly it.
Are you gonna bleep that one out, Stefan?
No.
No. All right.
No,
Keep-
yeah, keep it in. There's not many that I think ruin a film,
It's
but
hard.
I think that
It's hard.
it's
that
hard
they
to
ruin
ruin it. But I mean, even for sequels, it's hard to ruin it. But a lot of the times, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. A lot of them actually make me enjoy the originals better. You know,
Yeah.
it's that idea of like, oh,
Yeah,
I
guess-
like the old.
Yeah, same with. I guess that's going back to the Matrix. I do like the Matrix 1 a lot more now that after I saw the
Yeah.
second and the third.
Yeah, you can just go back to your comfort zone and be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is nice.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, look at this. There's slow motion gunfighting. Yep, I'm okay.
Yeah. Like to me, it was like you go and play like the Halo games,
Oh,
like the original 3, and then you go
Mhm.
play 4 and 5, and you're like, no, and then you go back
Hey,
and
yo,
play Halo
you're
1, and you
forgetting
feel so
one.
good, or Halo 2. What do you mean?
ODST baby.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, like ODST and Reach and stuff like that. I mean, like all the
Yeah,
Bungie
Reach,
ones
shit.
that are good,
Hmm.
and then after that, they're
Um,
like, no. Oh,
I do have
it's terrible.
another. Oh yeah, no. Now this one's mostly for Stefan, because you haven't seen these. But Ghost in the Shell. So Stefan, what like? I just want to touch on this very lightly before we end our time here.
Okay.
But like, there's the '96 movie. There's the manga which came out further than that, before that, and there's a movie in what was it 2001 or 2002 or something.
Mhm.
And then there's the newest one, was it?
The live action?
18 with ScarJo
The
Yeah.
in
definitive
the definitive edition.
way to experience Ghost in the Shell.
And like the new one, it looks good. Not even as good as the '96 one in my eyes, but it still looks good for a live action movie and cyberpunk and shit.
Mhm.
But it didn't catch on any of the themes. It missed a whole bunch, and it's overall bad remake.
It was weird though because they used several portions of the different shows.
the
I
different
think
universes, right? Because that's another thing with all the TV.
it wasn't even a
shows.
remake.
Like they have entire like 12 episode animes, seasons and shit that take place in different different MCU parallel universes, and you're like, what the fuck?
And then they used a bit from the first one too. So
yeah, they kind of picked
I
and
don't know.
choose, and they didn't, or pick and chose, and they didn't pick and choose. Fuck.
we're
Just
we're
get
having
confused.
problems with English.
Yeah. They didn't choose the right things to steal from, you know. Unlike another one is The Dark Knight stole everything from the books, but it did it good. You know,
Yeah.
it took oh yeah, let's have this part and we can connect it this way and that way and this way, and yeah, and they made a good little movie. You know, but
Yeah,
a lot of films don't do that very well.
yeah.
Especially
I
when
agree.
you have a large source material, Like that's one of the things I'm scared for with Dune. Don't forget,
I
there's
trust
6
him, though.
books. There's 6 books.
Who's doing it again? Is it
Blade Runner guy.
Yeah, the Blade
20
Runner 2049 guy.
what's his name? Something.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. But to say it's French.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll have to finish the book,
I don't know, dude. I
and
don't.
I'll hand it off to you, one of you guys. But
It just sounds crazy. I'm not gonna read it. I don't have time for that.
you know, you say that you never have time for anything. You wrote a 10-page essay.
Because that was what I was supposed to do. That's what I do. I make time for stuff that is pointless,
Yeah, no, but
and then everything else that might be important or useful to me in the future, I don't actually do.
yeah, I'm excited for Dune, but I'm also scared.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new movies I'm scared for.
This is a cautionary episode.
It's a caution.
It is.
Do not remake beloved childhood classics,
Yeah.
but you probably will, studios.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's a couple that are okay. There's some that do all right.
So, any more thoughts on the 2 questions or Disney's streaming service? Anything you'd like to put out there?
Just to add, I don't think it's really. It's not necessarily an answer to the question, but Evil Dead. You guys ever see the new one?
What do you mean the new one?
The 2013 remake?
No, I didn't see that. Was it good?
No.
It's not bad. It's actually it's different. That's the thing.
Here's
is that
the
it's
thing with
completely
me
different.
is I've heard they made the tree rape scene worse than ever before. And I'm just like, I was like, that was one of the sections, like, if they cut that out, I'd be totally alright with it. Because I'm not really into that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not something I'd like in my movie.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, I get the original Evil Dead was supposed to be a horror, but after that they got a little goofier and goofier and goofier. But definitely, like, trying to rewatch that series and you go, oh, that's right, this show starts off with a tree raping a girl.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I always tell people don't even watch Evil Dead 1. Like,
yeah.
It's basically you only watch it just to see how it evolved and how his original vision went.
If you're a fan of it, you watch the first movie.
But
Because
just
the
start
first
with the
movie's
second.
hard to get into, which is really weird that they remade the first one. Because that's not what made that series popular. Was the first one? It was the second. The
No,
third, and,
but I mean, I actually really enjoyed the remake because it's different. It's just that it's different, and it's kind of like what Sam Raimi probably was going for. Granted, they do take some liberties that I didn't really like, but I think it was kind of like because it feels more horror-esque rather than because Sam Raimi's, even though I think it was supposed to be horror, it was just goofy.
Yeah.
Whereas that one. It's actually pretty creepy in some points.
So, like, when they do something new with the material, like they have little strands of the past films, and then they kind of tweak it, and give it a new spin. That's when it's
I do like
good.
that when I give it a little new spin. Like in the remake sequel prequel thing, the teeth thing was pretty cool.
Teeth thing? What?
Yeah, one of the characters has they have metal what do you call them? Not implants, but they have metal teeth, incisors or whatever, and they have to spit them out.
For what?
Do you know? Have you guys not seen the 2011 one? Or is that?
Oh, the Thing.
Yeah, the Thing.
I went for my own. I felt for my own thing.
No, yeah. So
oh, okay.
Because like basically
okay,
the way
okay, I see.
The way
because I called it the teeth thing, you guys were confused. All right, my bad.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Thinking, the living
you were
IMDb.
thinking of the chest
I was like,
thing.
I was like,
that's the problem with that movie is if you don't know exactly what you're talking about and you say thing after it, everyone's confused.
Dude, I've done that. You have no idea. You have no idea.
But
everybody in my class, I was like, hey, yeah, I'm doing it on the movie The Thing. And like, what thing? The movie.
The movie.
What? 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing. What thing did he make?
I do have one
desk,
extra thing, and we'll only touch on this for a second, because we should end this soon. But J.K. Rowling changing shit in her books, but only on Twitter. Like,
what about I was trying to think. Have you guys seen the new one?
New
what?
The new Harry Potter. Yeah.
Dude, no, I haven't seen any of them.
I think they're fighting.
The first
and everybody wants to stab me.
They're fighting Nazis, apparently. That's what they were setting up.
There's Nazis?
No. They're fighting people who want to stop Nazis. I shit you not. The bad guy, Grindelwald, is like because I've seen people talk about it, and it's the funniest thing. Like watching people try to explain this is funnier than watching the movie. I think I haven't seen the movie though. They sit there and they're like, okay, Grindelwald says he has a vision of, and by the way, this takes place in 20s, right? So you're like, okay, all right, yeah. And he's like, okay, I've seen this, and the next bad thing to happen is World War II. The Muggles are gonna start World War II, and you're like, what about the Great Depression? Whatever. And he's all like, oh no, and he's like, we gotta stop this. We gotta band together and stop this. And then he starts killing people. It's like it doesn't make any sense, right? Most people who are like, yeah, let's stop the Nazis. Not even kill them, let's stop them. No, let's just kill people and see what happens. It's really odd. It's not very well written, is what I've heard. But yeah, we should end it there. You guys all good with everything?
We always end on Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
We always end on Nazis? No, we didn't end the last one on Nazis, or the one before that, or the one before that.
There's always a little bit of Nazi talk.
Yeah, there's always.
You can't have an American.
Those Nazis, they sneak into our conversations all the time.
Yeah, they're fucking Hail Hydra right into our brain.
All
right. Well, this has been the Down Now podcast. I've been Brendan, your host, hopefully, kind of. That's been Stefan.
Yep.
And that's been Hunter.
Yeah!
And we'll catch you next time.